nobody noticing, like even to the point where like I would hide it from like my family if they came by. I was like, I'd turn it to cartoons or
That's
something.
so
Like,
funny. It's like
I'm not
porn.
watching
It's like
Power
straight
Rangers.
like I just see you switching to porn from Power Rangers. It's more
Yes.
understandable than if I'm
That's
watching
it.
Power Rangers. Welcome everyone to Otaku Flavored. We got something in store today, and I'm just gonna start off by saying we're here with Jay, because we're here with
You
Jay.
made that say like it's like a wonderful thing we're about to do.
Hey man,
or that there's
No. I wanted to preface this with spoilers. Is what I was going to say.
was there a more better priority that you had there? I mean, it sounded
Yeah,
like
I
you're
know,
trying to push
right?
a narrative.
You're like, no, my narrative.
We have something wonderful.
Yeah, right. We're going to be talking about Wonder Egg priority. There will probably be a lot of this, or very short, depending on how this goes. But yes, spoilers ahead for Wonder Egg priority. We are finished. The show is done for now. I guess that's a spoiler within itself. You think there's gonna be a season 2? You really think?
No. Okay, so
Okay, so yeah, dive in. Let's go. Head first.
That last episode, is there going to be a season 2? No. Because we've already, I went through and thanks to Katie, she was looking it up for me and trying to find out what was going on, because that last episode's not an episode ending.
No, it's not.
It's the end of the anime. But there's going to be on like 3 months from now. No, it was 3 or 4 months from now. I can't remember the exact date. I had it open. I was ready for this earlier. Is going to be a special series ending. It's either an OVA or a mini movie or something that's going to conclude the series.
Oh no!
And fuck off at this point.
Oh no!
I don't care. I literally was so done with that last episode.
Yeah. No.
And now you're gonna like you skipped an episode for a flashback, and then you're going to deliver me 4 months later, when I completely have forgotten about this show for good reasons, to actually conclude it.
Oh my god, that makes so much. Okay, so I hate when shows do that though, where they're they're either this welcome to the season, all right, season's ending, we got you ready for a movie, basically. And it can be done, right? I definitely think some things, especially if the story is interesting and you want to be watching it, then yeah, sure. Stopping for a movie and putting a movie in between isn't the end of the world. Like, what is it? Made in Abyss. Made in Abyss did this.
It did it well, though.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, it can be done well, but oh, does it hurt when all of a sudden you're watching a show and you're like, it's different because it hits different. For this show, yeah, 4 months from now, they're going to release a movie, potentially.
Not
or
even
an
a movie,
OVA,
though. Probably just like, a
even if it's
30-minute...
just an episode. Yeah, even if it's just an episode. But still, they're basically killing if we were hyped for this. It feels really terrible. It's like, oh no, now I have to wait for this. And you're kind of like, it can add some extra hype to it, but if it's not going to be something we want to watch, it's just going to die and it's going to float by. And I probably won't even know it's out until I see that it's out, and I'll be like, oh, that's right. Wondering.
I do want to preface really quick, like, people who know me as the guy who loves weird anime, who loves the most artsy shit you could possibly throw in front of him. The weirder and more abstract it is, the more I love it. So why is it that these absurd this ending of the show isn't any of that, isn't any wonder? I mean, they started multiple realities.
Well, okay, that was the part to me that instantly I was like, oh no. Like, I love Steins Gate. I love different dimensions.
Steins Gate's amazing.
And I actually really, really enjoy when there's parallel universes. And I get that that's basically what they're trying to show here now. And it was just so, I felt like shoehorned in, where it's like trying to explain all this stuff. Okay, alternate reality people that you've been saving the entire time, or whatever it might be. They kind of hinted at it a little bit, but to go as full circle with it as they did on that last episode with having two eyes, it was like, oh, okay, I see exactly where we're going with this. One thing.
Well, they needed 2 eyes so they could remove 1 eye.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. Actually. Dude, that eye is gonna be so much more badass now because she has a goddamn eye patch, and I love that. I'm just gonna say that right now. If you give a character an eye patch,
before that,
I know,
but it's also an alternate universe her anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. But one thing I will say, I do like how they tried to use that as explaining what had happened with the other girl's suicide, basically, with her friend, and tried to explain what happened, because I really wanted that to be wrapped up. I really wanted to know for sure what happened. We don't 100% know for sure because it is a little weird. It gets a little crazy at the end. I mean, we're talking about Wonder Egg, but I kind of put together that, sure, maybe in the alternate reality, she was going to jump with her, and then she didn't, basically, this time. And that's why it showed them together, and that's why she basically dipped on her friend again. But, yeah, it's just such a non-way to explain something that I wanted an explanation for.
We're skipping over the episode right before it too, because we're doing 2 episodes in one right here.
We are doing 2 episodes in one, yeah.
There is a complete just separate series that occurred an episode ago that was like, hey, by the way, here's a sci-fi thriller thing of this AI that wants to murder everything and does so, and we're not going to bring it up in the next episode, by the way.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything before. It's just there's this completely separate plot line that they throw at us, and then
yeah, they show a protagonist to me that is actually really cool and kind of interesting. Yeah. I do feel like it if they brought her in sooner or made that more relevant sooner, that actually would have been really, really cool.
If that was episode 1, how badass would that be?
Yeah, sure. Or like it gives us more understanding. Even if that was episode 6, like halfway through, they reveal that there is this other world thing going on, and they explain them a little bit better. Yeah, if they would have
revealed stuff, but I'm saying as just like a director recut, give us that episode first, and this whole series feels better to me already.
Sure. I mean, I could.
Then I know that it's a sci-fi horror, not a fantasy mystery thing.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of making this actually like just basically fantasy, which is what originally I felt like this is just completely like mind-blowingly out there. Basically, it's like none of this makes sense, and that's because it's not supposed to. Where
it's like Madoka.
Yeah, where by the end now it's like, oh, it's supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be grounded in reality. It's basically the story is actually about those 2 dudes and creating the AI, and then basically having to destroy it or something like that. Okay, the weird thing for me is that there is this weird plot too where she reads about the whole warrior of that person, I can't think, and then they're supposed to go defeat the like great evil or whatever, and she's like, I want to become this warrior, after reading a piece of paper about it for like 30 seconds or whatever it might have been. And that whole plot, I actually think too, if that was explained earlier or turned into something earlier, would have been cool. Like, sure,
could have been cool.
It would make more sense.
There's a lot of standalone stuff here that could be cool.
Yeah, I will say that last episode had its moments to me, because it did do some sort of interesting ways of explaining. We talked about it before, how like there's a lot of show don't tell basically, and they did some times where they basically instead of just straight up telling us how this all went down, they did show in a way with the other eye, like how she was being manipulated in a different one, how bad this dude actually is that's trying to date her mom. They kind of throw that all away
allegedly,
because you don't know if in her reality if that's true, because it's not her dude that she's messing with. But it is one of those things where at least they did somewhat, I feel like, a good job in that stuff. Was it? It was kind of superfluous because it's at the end of the series and there was not enough time to wrap up everything cleanly.
No,
clearly there's more to do, but I don't know.
Clearly we're getting a conclusion 4 months from now.
I will definitely watch it. I personally, I don't know.
You'll have to remind me.
I don't know if I'll recommend this show. But all in all, after everything, especially with these last 2 episodes, I kind of did enjoy the whole roller coaster ride. I didn't feel like they dropped as bad as I thought it was going to, I guess. I would literally, my bar was
conscious recommend the show anymore to anybody though.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't have an ending that most people are like it just doesn't.
It's true.
Maybe I'll have an ending during the OVA thingy.
Maybe,
but also it goes back on any sort of promising plot. Like the girls at the end seemingly don't want to talk to each other anymore. There's that conflict between them all. There's just so many like dropped thread lines throughout this whole thing. Nothing concludes.
Oh yeah, no.
It's all in the open. It's all chaotic and it's all terrible. Like there's nothing good that occurred in that last episode.
Yeah, not really.
Which can be fun, but also like the thing that I praised about the show so much in the beginning is that it was like, oh, this is the first time that in a anime medium that I truly feel like I could show somebody that's gone through this type of trauma before, something that could help them heal, kind of be like a good beacon-y type thing for them. Because I thought for the longest time that this was going to end on a note that really felt like it was going to keep true to the way that this show started. Because every single show, it brought in really deep subject matter, but then worked its way out of it. And then it just feels like they forgot about that whole thing. And now it's like, I can't in good faith recommend it to those people anymore. Because I feel like I would, that lead them down like
I kind of get grief. That exactly, because it feels like no one won in this series, where when you're talking about these deep, dark, like you're dealing with things that will trigger people and will cause people to like either, I don't know, I don't want to use the word relapse, but like basically it's dealing with topics that are not something you want to tread lightly around, basically.
Right.
And I do agree
and that's fine.
I do agree at the end it kind of drops the ball on all of that because nothing good comes of it. I do wonder if it will wrap up in a way, because clearly this was not an end. I wonder if it will wrap up in a way that does end on a high note. I wonder if the girls will be able to get back together. They will be able to work everything out. They will be able to, weirdly enough, it's that last episode and the episode prior to that needed to be earlier, because if they were able to show that earlier, and then basically, Riku is mad at them, at Araka and Uraraka, and if that anger is kind of like misguided at them because they basically created this thing that they're trying to now stop, and in doing so they need these girls' help in order to do that, basically. And it's not explained all too well why they need the four they do. And the other girls that show up at the end who are like on what was her name? It was like, I want to call her Fry, but it wasn't Fry. It was like Frill. Yeah, so the other girls that she created that are on her side, all of that needed more explanation in a way to build their character, to make them into villains. Because having them show up the last 2 to 3 episodes, for the short amount of time they did, basically didn't do them justice whatsoever. Like, I think they were cool. I think that was really interesting, because she wanted girls that weren't as pretty as her, basically. She wanted to make sisters, basically. And she wanted to make sure that they weren't and they're scary. They're like creepy and interesting, because they're like all different bugs. Like one's a butterfly, the other one I think is like some sort of moth.
I mean, there's definitely some really cool stuff in there.
Yeah, there is. But
also, can I just say, when they throw her into that thing and lock her in there, how did she get back out to steal all the computers to then make more people?
Oh, like, I know. It's just okay. My favorite thing about
like you just neglected the fact that you held her as a prisoner downstairs.
My favorite thing about that personally is like. I can't actually remember if it shows her making those girls before she gets put in there. I think it does. But then, clearly she's not locked in there because she has all
Yeah.
the computers in there with her now. But they try to show you that she's been down there and hasn't moved because her face is all like wrinkly and stuff, and she looks all like tired and everything. And you're like, no, wait a second.
You
What
haven't
happened?
been eating or doing anything. You've just been locked down there. Also, apparently, nobody in this version of Japan gives a damn if somebody gets murdered. There was zero investigation into this, or the fact that there's now a neglected child thrown in the cellar.
Another thing that they don't explain is they talk about how they're constantly under surveillance, basically, and then all of a sudden that doesn't come into play anymore whatsoever after they've created this girl. Because it's like, if they were constantly under surveillance, whoever was surveilling them is like, yeah, dude, all right, okay, this shit's getting crazy. Like, should we call the police? No, don't worry, they'll figure it out. They're scientists. Like,
yeah.
I will say, when the girl murked like her stepmom or whatever, technically, I guess, I was like, oh no, this is intense. Like, I know it's gonna go down. You're like really leading this up. This is pretty goddamn brutal. And that makes Frill feel completely like, oh my god, they did so good with Frill. Like, weirdly enough.
Great character. I really love all the character designing stories. There's so much to still love about this show that I hate even more that I don't like it anymore. Like,
I mean,
I don't hate the show. I don't. It's not a. It's just I'm disappointed type of thing. It's not finished. It's not cohesive. It doesn't make. Yeah,
it's like when you're a parent and you want to watch your kids succeed and they're doing well, and all of a sudden they fuck up, and you don't want to be like, oh, I hate you because they're your kid or whatever. They're not. The show isn't my kid, so this doesn't really add up.
You're right.
But you're like, I'm disappointed in you more than I am mad at you. Like, you had such promise, but you decided to throw that all away and go to art school instead of becoming a doctor.
It's too real. No, but there's so much like promise and like moments throughout that whole beginning of the show where I constantly was like, here's all these thoughts and possibilities and all these cool things that could happen. And now the show's at a point where I'm like, it is what it is. There's nothing to theorize about it or contemplate. I mean, I guess about the multiple world stuff. Like, there's some stuff that's like out there, but none of it's important to me because none of it's a part of what none of it's a part of the questions that they ask us early on in the show. It's like there's just two separate ideas, polar opposite of each other at each end of the spectrum, and that I don't like that.
I think this show suffers from feeling like it needed a protagonist, feeling like it needed to be more than the girls opening eggs to try to get their friends saved, basically. Like, I'm
sympathetic to that plot so much. Like, that alone is such a, like, I could feel like I would, in that situation, want to, like, that oh man, giving that opportunity to have like a few more seconds with somebody that you know who's passed through suicidal means, like, it's just like there's I could see myself signing up and getting into that predicament myself, and it's like that's such a huge driving force. I'm interested in that. Full stop.
No, exactly. And I feel like when they started to deviate from that plot because they needed a bigger enemy, or they needed something more than that, they felt, which is, I think that's where this to me started to go downhill, because I agree, it feels like the beginning had a really interesting plot and a really interesting thing that they could have just stuck with and it didn't need more. But it's almost like too many cooks in the kitchen where now another person's stepping in, throwing their thoughts in. I have no idea what their writer room is like. Maybe this is all actually written by one person.
It is written by one person.
And it was, maybe it's cohesive to them and how they wanted it to go.
Yeah, but it's all last second. Everything's rushed at the end. We get one episode dedicated to some of the things that will never seemingly come back up again.
Yeah. I think,
like, let's murder our friend that's sitting on a vegetated state. Let's talk about the girl that murdered our wife. Let's talk about, like, all these things that are pieced together for 2 seconds and thrown away. And
and
I'm surprised we got as much resolution as we did about the teacher, because honestly, I was so at the point where I was like, it's another throwaway line at this point, and it still kind of is.
It still kind of is, because I think that's really throwaway because it's this other eye basically. It's not our eye, and so it just feels like, okay, is the guy are we supposed to basically just assume the guy in our universe is also doing the exact same thing and is this terrible person? Because clearly his other self is saying so. So if I'm just supposed to take that at face value, then sure, yeah. But because
there's nothing that was resolved in the real world due to this episode.
No, yeah.
Like nothing has changed or impacted in the last 2 episodes at all. They're completely meaningless to the girls as an overarching story. I mean, they're meaningful in a way, but they don't change the world around you, you know, like if it never happened, does anything change? No, it's I is more confident in herself, and we still have all the girls mad at each other. Like I don't.
Yeah, it's so weird too because you have the one girl who doesn't want to be part of the group anymore. Basically, is just dipping. You have Riku who basically wants to kill Araka and Uraraka, and then you have and I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but the other girl, and they're basically now together, and they're the ones that are like, okay, well, nothing's bad's happened to us yet because we haven't defeated the boss and we haven't had our creature killed. Which, once again, that whole, oh man, I just feel like killing off those creatures was not the thing that needed to happen. I was so sad.
Also, because they don't make sense coming into the story in the first place. So then they were literally feel like they were created to be killed.
Yes, they were.
A lot of the show does this. A lot of the show has a lot of throwaway things where it's like, we've introduced it so we can kill it.
Yeah.
And there's no point or purpose in it other than that.
It definitely feels like one of those things where they gave them those creatures just so you could start feeling like, oh, look at these cute creatures, so they could try to stab you with it later and be like, we killed it in front of you. And yeah, that doesn't serve a purpose, basically.
Yeah, because it's almost like the writer was like, well, we can't kill the girls, right? So let's give them pets to get murdered.
Oh, it does feel that way, especially with the first one that dies. Now I'm thinking, because that's literally what happens. They're like, no, we're not going to kill. That happens with all of them. Now that I think about it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to kill you, but I'm going to kill your pet. Like, and then with she's like, I'm not going to kill you, and then tries to kill her, like, or tries to take her eye. Like, I don't know. That one's definitely weird too. Like,
it's
Yeah.
Although, really quick segue out of this topic, because I'm kind of burnt on this one.
Me too. I'm fine with it.
And before we get into more things in similar topics, because I searched for what was going to be like 4 months out from now, I did find out that there is a Inferno Cop Season 2 coming.
No way!
Best hype sequel I've ever heard.
Wait, there's an Inferno Cop Season 2?
There's an Inferno Cop Season 2 coming.
No way!
Oh, yes.
The light, the gods of Trigger. No, like, what the fuck?
So really hyped for a sequel to that.
Oh my god, that show is beautiful. If you guys haven't watched Inferno Cop, take 30 minutes and go watch all of Inferno Cop.
Please do. It's so good.
It's so fast. I actually showed some people Inferno Cop recently, and I love watching people's reaction when you show them Inferno Cop, like, because it's so done in a way where you just get to watch your friends be like, what is going on? And you're like, yeah.
I didn't like it. Like, I watched it back when it came out originally, and it was one of those things that I sat on for years not telling anybody about, because I was like, wait until I can find somebody that like even like Space Patrol Luluco. And it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, I know I like my oddities. And like recently when I started showing people it, it seems like everybody I show it to likes it.
Yeah, because it's so random. I think that's what helps it a lot. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's just constantly one after. Like, one of my favorite parts in that series is when they get a soundtrack, and every episode they're basically talking about how they have a soundtrack now. And I'm like, dude, this is beautiful. Like, this is how like something this short and like digestible, this is how it should be, basically.
Oh yeah, like, no, it's so good. It's so just too good.
Which reminds me of Space Patrol.
So sequel of that, hell yeah, and Space Patrol Luluco, which I would love a second.
I would love a second season of that too. Trigger, if you hear us, I don't know how you would.
Please, Trigger.
Please.
Yeah.
Love of God. I'm gonna add.
What I don't want another sequel of, or what I didn't want a sequel of, is A Promised Neverland.
Oh God. Why'd you hurt? Oh God. Why? Yeah, why?
And if you want to talk about a series that I actually do hate,
oh man,
Like that is
this is one of those, I feel like, go read the manga. All right, everything I've heard about the manga is good. I've heard it wraps up good. I've heard I haven't finished watching Promise Neverland, but I have seen enough, especially when the last episode aired. Everyone was kind of talking about it on my Twitter, and I was already at the point where I'm like, oh, I don't really care about spoilers. Nothing was actually spoiled, weirdly enough, but everyone was talking about, oh, it's a slideshow. Oh, I'm really glad I got to watch my PowerPoint presentation for the last of my series. That's exactly how I want my epic series to wrap up. And it's like, oh, no.
Oh.
I think, like, I don't know if this is because they ran out of funding or something happened during COVID and they needed to wrap up sooner. But it does feel very much like, from what I've heard, is, yeah, like Evangelion, where all of a sudden it's not what you expect anymore. I mean,
but apparently this makes Evangelion look like it has fluid animation, so it's even worse.
I know, that's what people were saying.
It's the new crowd king of PowerPoint displays.
I can't wait. I'm going to finish this series. It is one of the, I kind of feel like I have to do myself the duty of doing this, but I also will wanting to be watching or reading the manga. I've actually been picking up more manga recently, just because a lot of my series that I'm interested in are either ending or are doing what Attack on Titan's doing, which is now giving me an entire year to wait until I get my last 2 or 3 episodes or whatever it's going to be, or a movie. People are thinking it might be. And yeah, I hate it. It's like, no, I could read the manga and actually get my ending sooner. And this is what happened with Naruto back in the day for Shippuden. I was like, yeah, I should just read the manga. So I've been going back and doing my old ways of just reading the manga. But yeah,
sometimes you just got to do that. I mean, I started doing that with Made in Abyss, even though that I'm still super hyped for the season 3 whenever that does actually come out.
Yeah,
but I am pretty much eagerly like. Volume 9 just came in the mail today. I read Volume 9 of Made in Abyss today, and that was like one of the best moments of the day for sure.
Yeah, I really enjoy when the new, like, I mean, for you it's volumes when they come out, or like even just getting a new chapter. Like, I've been keeping up with My Hero, weirdly enough, and I actually do enjoy it. I do like weekly, like, or even monthly or whatever it might be, but I love that feeling of getting a new manga and being able to get caught up and then wondering where they're going to go next. And there's a lot to do with getting to speculate and things like that with other people who are also reading the manga or who are also doing that. So Jay, I should catch up on Made in Abyss just so you have someone to talk to about Made in Abyss.
Please, I have actually know nobody.
Yeah, you know what? I'll do that for you. I know your birthday was a little while ago now, but I'll do it for your birthday.
I'll take it. Whatever you want to do.
I have it somewhere. I have it on my phone somewhere. But I do feel like a lot of these series, like Promise Neverland, Attack on Titan, all of those do suffer from wanting to keep the hype going, or in the case of like Promise Neverland, they either needed to end it sooner than they wanted to, or they couldn't wrap up the way the manga did, so they have to figure out what the hell they're going to do.
Should they even attempted to make the season 2? Honestly, I don't think they should have when they did. Like, knowing anime, knowing just our fandom and everything, people are willing to wait. And weirdly enough, this reminds me so much of like the video game like community, where a game that releases is forever like going to be remembered what it was released as, basically. Anime's even worse because you can't update it, but like once it's in the ether and once it's released, it's there. So I feel like waiting and giving everyone a year, 2 years, whatever it would have taken to get Promise Neverland to be finished, or any of these to basically be finished, or be more fleshed out and know that they can finish them. I know things happen, like COVID happened last year, still going on this year. So it is a little bit more difficult and not just so cut and dry. But yeah, I do feel like it's better to wait. I don't think Promise Neverland Season 2 should have come out. And no, I definitely don't think that I don't know how it's ended, but from what I've heard, I don't think it should have ended the way it did, at least. Like, if you had an even hiatus, like, and do what Wonder Egg just did, and just say, hey, you guys,
we're gonna take 4 months to get out the last couple episodes. Look at Attack on Titan. Like, they're taking an entire year now to get out the last couple episodes. And
yeah,
I would rather,
sucks,
yeah, it does. I hate it. It's definitely not favorable, but
yeah,
I would rather that than know that Mappa pushed out the last couple episodes and they were PowerPoint presentations. Like,
yeah,
I would much rather wait to have something that is like, yes, this is deserving, because so far the last season has been very good. I've very much enjoyed Attack on Titan. Not so much Promised Neverland.
yeah. ReZero Season 2 has been phenomenal.
Nice.
I've loved that. I haven't finished it yet, but it's been amazing the whole way through so far, and I'm just like 2 or 3 episodes away from finishing it.
Yeah.
Laid Back Camp Season 2.
Yeah,
like, there's still good stuff out there.
I think Laid Back Camp has its
nice.
last episode of Season 2 coming out next week or this week. I can't remember.
Yeah, very soon.
Very soon. I've been enjoying Season 2. I binged all the way through Season 1, and now have just been slowly eating my way through Season 2. Laid Back Camp, I recommend to everyone. All right? I don't care if you don't like this anime and it's not your type of anime. Just do yourself a service and get back into camping, okay? Like,
also, okay, I'm going to tell everybody who has like a toxic Twitter feed how to solve your toxic Twitter feed problem. If you go on Twitter and you just feel like it's just nothing but negativity and I need you to do one thing and one thing only. Search for Laid Back Camp once, click like on one thing. Doesn't matter what it is, click on it, and somehow, some magical, beautiful way, 90% of my feed is Laid Back Camp camping stuff, and it's infinite. The groups, the people, the amount of material out there for Laid Back Camp is so ginormous. There's so many people out there just camping with like Laid Back Camp stuff, camping in the exact spots where they go camping, sharing fan art, screen art, stuff like that. And all I did, I don't even like the stuff that comes up anymore. I liked it once, and it's just an infinite feed that has enveloped my Twitter feed.
That
and
sounds so beautiful.
All the happier for it because it's so beautiful and so happy, and I'm just. Yeah.
I like how I literally have been looking back getting back into camping now, and I told my friend who we were hanging out with the other day, and he was like, "Oh, one of our other friends is going camping. Do you want me to hit him up?" And he just messaged me like immediately after that and was like, "I heard you want to go camping." I'm like, "Yeah, I can't go camping this week." He's like, "I'm going in 2 days. You want to come?" And I'm like, "No, I can't. Sadly, I would love to, but we should definitely plan something." And I've now we've been going back and sending camping gear, and like it's so funny. It reminds me so much of Laid Back Camp, where it's just like, check out this thing. Oh my god! Talk about spoilers though of seasons wrapping up correctly and doing a justice for it. Season 1 of Laid Back Camp, how it ends is so goddamn beautiful. That last episode is so good. Like, oh my god, such a good series.
And it's such a great series too because you don't need a season 2.
You don't.
Laid Back Camp,
you really don't.
But
actually,
so happy it exists.
It is one of those things where they did so perfect at wrapping it up, and I knew there was a season 2 going into season 1, and after finishing season 1, I was like, oh, I could totally see how people were like, I don't know, maybe. I do know there is potentially a season 3 because the manga is still releasing, so it's doing well enough for itself to keep continuing, and I hope it keeps going.
I'll take as much as I can get for sure.
Me too. I'll just keep on going. Who doesn't want to just relax? That's something that is hard to find. You got all your action-packed crazy animes, and then or your slices of life that make you feel sad and depressed, and then all of a sudden you got your cute camping anime where there's the stress is, oh no, my charcoals aren't burning. Don't worry, someone will come over and help us.
Does this mean I can finally start recommending you quality slice of life for you to watch?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, always. I started... Okay. I don't know if it's a slice of life, but I know it's an idol, which is, Zombieland
Saga?
Yeah, Zombieland Saga. I started that the other day.
Oh, yeah. So good. That one's good. Yeah, that's an idol, zombie idol thing. That one's really good.
Yeah.
But no, I really need more people in my life to talk about A Place Further Than the Universe.
Oh, I heard that one's good.
That needs to happen because not enough people have watched this.
I'll find out where it's at. It's probably on one of my services.
It's on Crunchy.
Okay. If it's on Crunchy, then I'll add it to my list.
Right, I'll slowly start sliding you a really good slice of life
because
that
I know
want you to watch.
once I finish Laid Back Camp, I'm just gonna be hungry for something in the same vein as that, is just adorable, just relaxing anime, basically. Because it's nice, it's really good to put on, and I just put it on and relax too. But I feel like this last season, some of the stuff has been, now that it's wrapping up, I'm so sad to see it go. Like, I've been caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen now, and I'm just, I already can't wait for a new season, and it's so, it sucks. What?
I'm out on Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, you dipped?
I'm dipped.
Oh no, what made you dip? Oh no.
It is just, it started out being something like, I was like, okay, this is something where it could go and not be your typical show.
Oh no, it's your typical show.
So let's go start basically a tournament arc at a school really quick, or whatever the heck's going on. And I was like, I don't need to be here for this.
That's what made you leave?
Of course, it was what made me leave.
Oh man,
how many shonen do I have to watch the same thing over and over again? I'm sorry, but if I've seen it once before,
it's like 3 episodes and shit happens. Okay, no. It's still good. I feel like it's a lot of those I do feel like just drag. Like, we're watching Naruto right now, and we hit basically a like a flashback arc that is just that little bit of Jujutsu Kaisen, basically, where it's like schools that are all doing their training to get into a thing, and it was like 15 episodes, and we were like 10 episodes in, and Tiff's like, we need to skip this. I can't watch this anymore. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, I like watching filler, but you're right. All right, we'll just skip up. We'll just move past this. But Jujutsu is actually good. It keeps getting good. I really, really like where it's ending right now. I can see where you come from, though. Maybe. It is your shonen.
I remember back in the day, like, Dragon Ball Z tournament arc sucked, but whatever. That's the entire show, and I love Dragon Ball Z regardless. And then Yu Yu Hakusho, one of the best tournament arcs there is. And then I've just seen every shonen ever since then, and have seen that same story arc, the same storylines in every single one of them. And sometimes I'm surprised. Sometimes it's like, okay, this one's actually okay.
I will argue that
I get sucked into it on accident. Like, I've accidentally got there now. But there's such a reflex moment now where it's like, if it's not immediately worth it, I'm out.
Oh my god, it's so funny because I know there's like straight up, even if I told you, I'm pretty positive I know right where you dipped. Weirdly enough, like thinking in my head, because it's like I'm guessing you dipped right as the first part of the schools basically fighting each other, or even them explaining what they needed to do. I could totally see you being like, nope, I'm out. And I want to recommend getting past that, but then there's a second section like directly past that where there's like another episode that's dedicated to the whole teams doing stuff, and it's a baseball episode, not to spoil anything if you guys haven't seen it. But after that, it gets really good again. It definitely gets back into what it once was, and is right back at doing cool fights with crazy ass beings. And sure, I do feel you, but I would almost argue I would give it a chance to get past where you stuck, or I even could tell you what to jump to, because you're right. Nothing really happens.
It was so good to start off with, where I was like, hey, this is the first real shonen that I'm interested in again.
It's so good.
So long.
It's so good. But I feel you. I mean, shonen do feel like if you've seen one, you've seen them all. We're starting My Hero, and we watched the first episode, and not to spoil anything for the first episode, but it's already reminding me of like, oh, that's right. We're watching My Hero.
The last good one that I did watch, I mean, it wasn't even that long ago, because when we watched, I mean, it wasn't a shonen, but something with the tournament arc stuff, or at least like school battle stuff, when we were watching the Misfit Demon Academy thing.
Oh,
like,
sure.
Brilliant, genius, loved every moment of it. And it's like, so those things can be good.
Did you watch the second season of One Punch Man?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, you'll probably dip on that one then, but because there's a tournament arc in that basically for a split second. But
there's so much about season 2 that I've seen that I was like, I don't ever need to see season 2. Season 1 was fine. I liked it.
Season 1 was good.
season 2 looks like hot garbage. And I'm just not going to touch it.
I enjoyed season 2, but I'm shonen trash, so it's like
Yeah.
I will eat up anything that involves people fighting each other, and yeah, it's just pretty straightforward for me to like it at this point.
I'm waiting for the isekai trash to get as old as the or the fandom of isekai people as the shonen like fandom exists, and just like waiting around for that like shit take person of just like, oh yeah, I loved SAO, and just like those people to be prominent in the communities the same way like Dragon Ball Z fans are.
Yeah, because yeah, I mean, it already kind of is like that. If you're a huge Dot Hack fan, you're like, Dot Hack was the best. Like, I mean, I will
even original though. I mean, I love Dot Hack.
I will agree. I actually like Dot Hack too.
Amazing. Yeah.
I wonder how well that holds up. I haven't actually gone back to watch Dot Hack, weirdly enough.
It holds up for me really, really well, but I'm also a person that really loves slow, grindy, dialogue-driven shows, and it is exactly that. It's exactly what got me into what I love in anime. I can clearly see why I like Dot Hack back in the day, and what informed my opinions in anime going forward.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, because I'm very, very much in the same way, because like a lot of my stuff that I started out watching was just your fast-paced fighting shonen-ish stuff, and that's what kind of became my taste and what I really, really enjoyed. Not to say that I didn't watch any of the other slower-paced stuff, but it was definitely a lot less in comparison to watching Dragon Ball Z or Yu Yu Hakusho or any of the other ones. Weirdly enough, older shonen is very much talk, a lot of talk, almost too much talk in some ways. Like,
yeah, some of them are.
Looking back at like Dragon Ball Z, where it's just like, let's have 5 episodes of us talking at each other and 1 episode of us fighting, and then 5 more episodes of us talking at each other. And I'm always like, nah, just fight each other for 12 episodes in a row and I'll be fine with this. Okay. Like, that's why always the end of those seasons were like, this is where I needed to be. Like, this is what I've been waiting for. The epic conclusion that lasts more than one fight in one episode. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to really look at exactly what informed, like, because I watch so many genres of anime, which is something I need more people to do. Like, please, if you're somebody out there, or you know somebody who thinks Danmachi is the best anime in the world, please get them some help. Please recommend them some other anime. Let them just see that there's something else out there. Like, I don't even care if it's Sword Art Online that they have to watch next, because at least that is somehow better.
Oh, that's so funny. Get some help.
Just get some help.
Guys.
I mean, it is.
We should start a hotline for people that they can just call in and we just recommend. We're like, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Show them that. All right, show them.
Just show them something.
So
just if they think it's their best anime that they've ever seen in their life, please just show them another show, because it's clear they haven't watched another show yet.
Yeah, I've been trying to branch out and just hitting a bunch now, basically, and like I started The Devil Was a Part-Timer recently and been really liking it. I do love that show currently. I'm trying to get
from McDonald's ever.
Dude, straight up. I will.
If that doesn't make you want a Big Mac, I don't know what will.
I know, right? Dude, I just want to go there and run into him. Like, he seems so chill and good at his job.
And he's so proud.
He's so,
I'm so good.
So good. Dude, him and Amelia, like the back and forth between those two characters once they're like over in our world, basically. Oh man, it's so goddamn beautiful. Like, done so well. He just doesn't care, and she's just like so upset with so much stuff, and it's just so beautiful, the back and forth of being like, dude, what are you doing? We're in public. Like, what the hell? Calm down. You got people staring at us right now. I'm gonna go. Like, I don't really want to be here while this is going on. Like,
yep.
But I'm trying to figure out like shows that are getting a second season, or like some stuff that I need to get caught up before, because I really wish I had gotten caught up on ReZero and Slime before the second seasons came out for those, just so then I could enjoy the second season as they're airing. But yeah, I don't know. There's just so much. There's so much anime out there. We're in the golden age. Have you watched
SSS Gridman yet?
I haven't, and I need to get ready. I definitely.
Sequel's next. Yeah, sequel's coming up in like a few weeks.
Yeah. I definitely.
It's not technically sequel, but it's sequel. You know.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's still. It's like
not, but it is. Yeah.
It's not a continuation, but it's a sequel.
Yeah,
It's not like a season 2. But
it's if you liked it, you'll like this one. Except for instead of Kaijus, it's Power Rangers, and that's
sweet.
perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with that. Yeah, there's just so much stuff coming out now, and a lot of it's been really, really good. And I definitely want to get another show that we hop on and follow like we did Wonder Egg. I found it really interesting being able to follow a show with you and actually seeing like episode to episode that are coming out, what we thought about it, what we liked about it,
stuff like that. Yeah, if anybody has an idea of what show coming up that we can do that with, or if we just find one, I'm super stoked about it. But there's stuff like
there's plenty.
I'm going to be talking about SSSS Dynamite or whatever the heck it's called.
Yeah,
that show is going to be a show I'm pushing on everybody simply because I love my like Power Ranger stuff. Like that was one of my jams as a kid. Like I watched original Power Rangers.
Oh, me
up
too.
Until they went to space.
Damn. Okay, you lasted a lot longer than me.
Oh yeah, no, I secretly watched Power Rangers years after everybody thought I stopped.
Dude,
everybody probably thought
level.
that it's like the Turbo movie was like past the prime. Like nobody like once they got the vehicles, the cars, the Power Rangers Turbo, nobody watched that. Nobody's seen that. They just knew it existed. They maybe saw the movie because they thought it was going to be good, and then it's like everything died from there. So I secretly watched with like nobody noticing, like even to the point where like I would hide it from like my family if they came by. I was like I'd turn it to cartoons or something.
So funny.
Like,
it's porn.
I'm not watching
it's
Power
like
Rangers.
I just see you switching to porn from Power Rangers. It's more understandable than if I'm watching Power Rangers. Like, oh, okay, Jay's normal. Okay, it's fine. So good. I'm so sorry.
I'm fine. Yeah, he's just doing his thing.
He's just doing his thing. Yeah. It's so
it was literally the thing that I hid for the longest time. So yeah, I watched all the way up till they were in space. And quite a far into that, like
That's pretty far.
It was a long way in there.
I'm trying to think where I ended up because I'm pretty sure after the original series I basically headed out. I was like, the movie, it's good. I liked it. Goodbye, everybody. But I mean, I still loved Power Rangers. I've always had a big thing for mechs that get created by other mechs. Like, I don't know. There's nothing that can go wrong here. Okay, yeah. I think Voltron was what brought me back into it for sure. People
need to watch the new Voltron. Like,
we've pushed this before.
We've already done this before. Like,
go do yourself a service.
Please watch.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, there's the nice thing about the new Voltron. I feel like it's like almost the perfect amount to consume. It's not too much. It's not too little. They go through a lot. And luckily, it's all out for your binging entertainment now. You lucky sons of no.
Seriously,
I hate waiting. I think that's one of the things I've come to realize with now keeping up with weekly shows again and getting back into weekly manga and all of that. Like, there's something that's cool about being able to talk about the episode, every individual episode, as long as you have people to talk to it about.
Yeah, as long as that exists for you.
Don't. It just feels like a slog of forever of waiting for things to happen.
Oh yeah, and you'll drop a lot of shows that way too that you otherwise probably wouldn't, which is a very true thing. Or you just don't keep up with some. Like, I probably would have stopped watching Egg if I wasn't watching it with you.
I actually feel like you would have 100%.
Yeah.
It's just like Promise Neverland. I feel like if we were actually doing Promise Neverland like we were doing Egg, you would have forced yourself to stick with it, basically.
Yeah, I would have. But dear God, I'm glad we didn't do that.
You're like, I'll take Egg over Promise Neverland any day of the week now.
At least I don't hate Egg. God.
Oh my God. I am so goddamn interested to see how the show ends. I'll let you guys know because I'll probably be having it binged and done by next time we meet. But yeah, we have to figure out something to go into for our last one, or like for our next series to follow. If any of you guys have any ideas what you would like us to watch, truthfully, we could even do an older show that neither of us have watched and just do an episode. Even if one of us has watched it before, if it's old enough, rewatching it isn't a bad idea because you probably don't remember everything. I almost wish we had done it with Kids on a Slope. Or Kids on the Slope, just because I don't know if you memorized it enough to remember every episode as they went on,
No,
basically.
I don't remember that. I remember the show. I don't remember
because
the. Yeah.
That's the one show right now that I been recommending to anyone who's like, what show should I watch? And I'm like, Laid Back Camp. And then after that, I'm like, Kids on the Slope. Kids on the Slope is a little bit more sad.
It is.
So it's a little bit harder to like just be like, go watch this thing and get depressed with me. It's a good show though. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else is coming out. We could do the one that had Happy in it, just so we could try to figure out what the hell is going on with our lives.
Oh God, yeah, I'm good. That's just some random shonen trash that you can watch. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go into that.
I will watch one episode just to see what Happy is doing in an alternate universe. And then promptly never watch anything ever again.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good actually way to handle it for sure.
As somebody who did watch all of Fairy Tail, okay?
Yeah, I still haven't watched all of Fairy Tail. Weirdly enough, Fairy Tail and Seven Deadly Sins were both the ones where they were on Netflix, and I was like, I don't know. Like, someone had recommended Fairy Tail to me, and then Seven Deadly Sins, and I was like, nah. I'm not gonna do this to myself. There's just too much to binge. And then they got me into One Piece. So I don't know how that's a possibility for me to go from those two shows and then into One Piece, but I think
I mean I shite on One Piece and on other shonen so often, but I will say at the same time, like, the reason why I do watch them all is there is a part of me that does like them. Like, sure. I understand that One Piece is actually really good. And I do understand that a lot of people, more people do not like Fairy Tail. I actually like Fairy Tail. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I watched the whole dang thing.
Yeah, I feel like out of the
it's trash. It's garbage. People don't watch it. Like,
the big ones that are going on right. The big ones that are going on right now are like what, Black Clover, My Hero Academia, and I can't think of the third one, but there's actually a third one.
They are redoing Blue Exorcist.
They're for another time? No, just.
Yeah, so Blue Exorcist ended. It had the Full Metal Alchemist problem where it ended through being written by not the creator. So now they're doing the Brotherhood approach to it.
Got it. Okay.
So there'll be a definitive ending to the way that the manga did.
Okay.
Which is good because Blue Exorcist sucks at the end. And it's a decent show.
I totally actually agree. Blue Exorcist is a pretty good show. Starts strong, actually, weirdly enough.
However, Tokyo Ghoul also had the Brotherhood approach to it with Tokyo Ghoul Re, which is the sound that you make when you watch it.
I haven't.
You just go Re.
Tokyo Ghoul is one of the fan bases where, like, I had a couple people who were like, I really like this show, and I'm like, I don't really like your taste in anything, so I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can get into
the first season of Tokyo Ghoul. I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. I just the people who were recommending it to me at the time. I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about what you're trying to recommend to me here.
Season 2 and the redone is terrible. The manga series, which I own, is good.
Well, yeah.
I enjoy the manga.
That's something that I'm learning more and more about myself. I enjoy the manga. Like, I really have been enjoying the manga for My Hero Academia, and I don't know how I'm going to enjoy this season.
Good on you.
I'm 100%. I'm 100% going to be the kid that is watching My Hero Academia this season, being like, wasn't in the manga. Oh, they fucked that up. Like, I know. I hate it.
I've never been that person.
I hate it, but I know I'm going to be the person who does that for this show, just because I don't know. It's one of those.
I honestly usually prefer the anime. To be completely honest, I'm not a person that's like I probably have more manga series that I've read than I have anime, but at the same time, I generally do prefer the animes over mangas.
Yeah, for me, it's like 50-50. I'd say a lot of the time I enjoy. I'm really, really weird because I love watching shonens and I love watching filler episodes because I love seeing what they did outside of the manga.
Right.
A lot of it's trash. A lot of it's really, really bad. A lot of it's not worth watching at all. And there's usually a time when you can tell that it's going into a filler arc. Naruto, especially because there's certain sound cues and there's certain stuff that they only use in filler arcs. So you know, like, immediately that you're stuck in filler for the next 3 years or whatever. But yeah, there's something that, like, I really, really enjoy seeing the manga come to life. And a lot of the times it's done really, really well. And I think the only reason why I like reading the manga first and then being the kid who's like, oh, that didn't happen, is to see the differences basically, and to be able to like tell people like, no, this is how they handled it here in this, and truthfully it feels better, because sometimes it is like Promise Neverland. I'm guessing if I read the manga versus finishing the show, the manga is probably better. But
there's times for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely.
But then for every Tokyo Ghoul or Promise Neverland, there's things like Usagi Drop, which is burn it with a fire and never read it. Please don't. Whatever you do, never read it. Only ever watch it, because you're wrong if you think it's better.
Oh no.
And we're not friends.
That's how we end friendships right here. You just
yes.
What is that? Why have I not even?
Usagi Drop?
Yeah.
It's a really cute anime. Please don't ever read it.
Okay. All right. Interesting. It's just a cute anime, but don't read it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it ends with tags that you wouldn't tell people you look on porn sites for.
Ah, got it. So it's like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's stuff that you don't publicly say that you've clicked on that before.
Oh God. Okay. All right. God, it's so it's one of those things. Okay, that too. Like, I don't know if you've been into Battle Royale or any of that series. Like for the movie, they did a live action movie. There's a novel. There's also a manga series, and that manga series is fucking intense. And it is definitely one of those weird mangas where I would not read this in public. If someone came by and saw some of those panels, they'd be like, Jesus Christ. What the fuck what are you doing? And I'm like, dude, it's a manga.
Right? Back when I worked in the comic store.
Oh, they're good. It's a good series. I actually really like it. It's hard to find nowadays. I luckily found the majority of it at our local bookstore, and they were selling it for far too cheap. So I was like, I will buy them all. But yeah.
You could have just went into Nord and bought the whole series there for MSRP.
Yeah. I mean, I got it below MSRP basically.
For Legends, sorry.
Yeah,
but I don't know what I said there. Yeah, back when I worked.
When you worked at Legends. Yeah.
So that was the thing. That was one of the titles where everybody was like, "Oh man, I can't find this title. Do you guys have it?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, we have it for MSRP. Here you go. Sell that copy." And they're like, "Oh man, online this thing's going for like a ridiculous price." I'm like, it's in print. Like, I literally can buy infinite copies of this. Why is this way?
Yeah.
And was a lot of manga for some really weird reason. Back when I worked at the comic book store, like there was so much manga that so many people couldn't find and couldn't get that it was just like,
I
can order that.
I think it's because they don't realize that you can order it. That's something that took me a long time, truthfully, to realize that you can ask your local bookstore or comic book store or whoever sells manga, and you can be like, hey, can you buy this? And then I'll buy it from you. Like, that's how this is supposed to work.
Yeah, support your local stores, please, because there's so many people out there. It's like, it's not out there because nobody was buying it.
Exactly.
Everybody's like, oh, I can only get this online. It's like, no, if you support your local bookstore, they can get it usually.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have retailers that they use to buy these things. And the reason it's not on the shelf is because if they put like Battle Royale on the shelf, first of all, a kid could come by and grab that and read it and be like, Jesus, what's going on with my life? But also I can't see it selling all that great. It is out of print now, which sucks. Back when
I worked there, it was a thing we could get quite a bit of.
Man, it's one of those things where I'm like, there's a lot of older mangas that I'm getting into now, and luckily I'm so happy that either they're still printing them, like the Evangelion mangas. I'm looking at grabbing all of those now, which are still in print. So if you guys want to grab them, you can just go grab
all
them.
the different universes.
All the different universes. I'm just eating up everything now at this point. I'm like,
a multi-universe video for everybody.
Oh, I love that video. That video is so good. If you got an hour of your life that you want to just dive deep into Evangelion, it's 100% worth. I love that dude.
It is.
If we can get him as a guest someday,
God,
just to hang out with.
He does something that I want to do, which is he recreates the set of like the Evangelion like table with all the things like built up around him, and like he does like everything to where it just like the set that he films on is so novel and so like decorated. Like I want to go to a stream somewhere and literally find somebody who has like a setup and like has like a designed place that they're
that's
in.
kind of
Because
neat.
there's one thing that, sure, VTubers are the closest thing to this, but they still don't full send. The VTubers are like so much trying to mimic real streamers that it's like, you're already there, just full send, please. Because I want to meet a streamer that full sends. Like, I have this stuff back here because it's like, I want a cool thing to look at behind me, but it's nowhere close to what I've seen could be out there. And that video shows me what could be out there.
Yeah, dude, I want to be in Masato's house. That's for sure. That'd be sweet. Like,
right?
That'd be so cool to be able to be like, yeah, look, we're streaming from, it feels like her dining room table or wherever. Yeah. I do like that concept, actually. To be able to recreate some places.
Yeah. Also, that guy's personality, if he was an actual YouTuber or did videos somewhere, I would watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm subscribing to his channel because he's got like the best personality for that crap that I've ever seen, and he doesn't. Yeah. And it makes me sad because it's like, I want somebody to come out there who has a full-on personality that they just sell into like that, because I doubt that that's him on a day-to-day basis. And if it is, homie, I'm gonna buy you a drink. Let's go out and hang.
I know, that's what every time I like watch a video from him, I'm like, dude, I really just want to hang out with you. And it's so funny. I don't get that a lot with a lot of creators and stuff, and I'm like, damn it, man, if for some reason we're in the same convention or whatever and I'm like, hey, let's go get a drink or something, because I want to fucking talk to you about some shit, because this is fucking sweet. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like being able to recreate like your favorite anime location and being able to make it feel like you're there for a stream sounds so goddamn sweet.
Right? It's such an epic thing.
One day I'll have an office, and one day when I have that office, I will turn it into Masato's house, all right? Or someone's house. I love that one that you're talking about because it's so funny. It's all it is just beer bottles and trash and empty ramen. Like, it's literally so easy to pull off because it's just full sending garbage, but it's so good.
But it's done correctly, and that's the thing. It's like it's done in a way that looks like he spent time on creating a trash mess. And it's so great. I love it.
I love it so much. Yeah,
but I want that. I want that more. I want somebody to be and live in a personality in their content, and that is not something you see. Everybody is living in their own reality, or in our reality, and I want somebody to be living in a reality, and that's not something that I've seen.
Yeah, that's actually a cool way to put it. Yeah, because like a lot of people, I mean, for me, yeah, we have all this set up because it's my room, and even if I could make this feel like it's like a room out of an anime, or it's like this is like more of a staged room or more of like a fallacy room than it is like just my room, that would be sweet. Yeah, it's hard. It's kind of hard to do that, I guess, for just like a bed and stuff, but you could probably pull that off if you find something out of like a manga or pop culture somewhere that people would recognize, and you start like making your room look more and more like that. Because I feel like the streamer aesthetic is, you need posters, you need some anime figures, you need like other stuff. For me, you need bedding behind me. Like, I don't know. It's I got that. You gotta have that full streamer.
The streamer starter pack. We've got pack
it. Straight up, yeah. Because I mean, I used to go green screen for a long time, and that's just a whole.
I didn't use it, but
it's just a whole nother feel. Like I love clean aesthetics, and that's why I went for it. But it's weird how once I got a nice camera, I was like, oh well, I want people to be able to see the nice stuff behind me. Because why did I buy a nice camera just film a green screen? Even though that actually is a smart idea technically, because the higher camera you have, the better you can chroma yourself out. But I don't know. It's a weird double-edged
I hope you all enjoy my really crappy webcam I have.
Oh yeah,
I gave my good webcam away to a friend that was doing school over COVID, and I was like, I don't need a webcam, take mine. And then I was like, I want to stream. Where's my crappy webcam that I have hanging around?
Weirdly enough, I feel like quality is one of those things where it does not make the biggest difference. Like, I invested in this for multiple purposes, so I could use it for a webcam. I can do it for doing videos. One day we're going to hopefully go hunt ghosts. So when we go hunt
ghosts, I could have a good webcam if I wanted to. This does
exactly.
Stuff like, but no.
But yeah, the effort to set it up / if you ever want to use it as a camera, that's my biggest issue. Is that cool? I have this thing here set up as a webcam. When I want to use a camera, I have to break down my webcam. Basically, it's not like it's hard or anything, but still, it's slightly time consuming. But yeah, I don't know.
It's an additional thing, yeah.
Ah, man, I can't wait till we can go back out in the real world. Hopefully you guys will all be back there this year at some point. Hopefully conventions will be a thing. If they are, I really would like to go to at least TwitchCon or something like that, so you guys can come and meet up with us, and we can all go grab ramen or something like that. I was gonna say rab ramen, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm turning into Scooby-Doo so quick right here. I need to stop for a second.
Yeah, no, there's I want to go to conventions again really badly, which is a thing that I didn't think I would ever say, because I don't like conventions, but I love artist alleys.
Weirdly enough, the thing that I like about conventions is meeting up with friends. Like friends that I don't get to see every year.
Walking the artist alley.
Yeah, walking artist alley is awesome.
The convention can go fluff itself.
Yeah, there's not. Weirdly enough, I've been to enough now that it feels like every convention is, when you're walking around the convention floor, there's nothing. It's like, cool, look at the business there, or look at this thing there. Like, there's some cool handouts sometimes, but at the same time, so much is just people. There's just so many goddamn people, and I'm like, I'd rather find a nice, quieter place to hang out.
Scrounging for something cool and vintage in some places is really, really fun, because sometimes that is like the only time that you can find something like that. But there's too many people that are all crowded and wanting all the new stuff, and it's just like, guys, the internet exists where you could get that for like 30% off. Like, what are you doing? It's
like for Corsair and stuff. Whenever I'm there at their booth, I'm always checking out their new stuff, and then I'm like, cool, I'm going to buy this online and have it shipped to my house, so I don't have to worry about dragging it home or getting it in my suitcase if we're ever flying or anything like that. And it's like, it's a lot easier to buy it at the con floor and then having them ship it, or just buying it online, I guess, while you're on the con floor, than it is to buy it on the con floor and bring it home with you. But
I want unique or vintage and hard to find things, or exclusives. For everybody who goes there for all of the mundane stuff, good for you for driving the economy of those places, but I don't understand you. Which is the bulk number of you. And I think that's really weird.
My favorite thing, though, is finding new artists. Like, I have an artist that I found one year at TwitchCon who I've been trying to go to and see every year. And finally, this last year, I was going to buy. He does like drawings that are just while he's on the con floor, while he's at his booth, basically. And you can buy them. So he'll draw them at the con, and then he'll put them up for sale, basically. They're pretty expensive, so I usually am like, I can't afford that. This year, I was saving for it, and I was like, yes, let's go. And then COVID hit, and then all this happened. So this coming up, Gears, I swear to God, I'm buying something from you. I want something that's unique from you, because, I don't know. You find those artists that go every year that you end up enjoying, and it's cool seeing them, like, what they've been working on over the past year and things like that.
Yeah.
But or discovering the people you've never seen before or heard of. There was someone who was doing keycaps the last year we went, and they were such sweet keycaps. Keycaps is a weird one for me, because I'm like, I don't think I would ever replace any of these with like silly keycaps or stuff like that. A lot of people will do their escape key, but I don't know. It's always cool seeing what people are working on.
Yeah, keycaps is an odd one.
Have you ever been part of an artist alley? Would you ever do that?
I would like to do that at some point. I think if I could build a catalog of like 30 really good prints that I like, I would do it.
Yeah, I could see that being really cool. Like,
but I don't have a catalog of art that I would want to.
I could help run your booth sometime, so you could step away and actually go get food or something. Because that's the one part that I always feel so terrible whenever I see like people at Artist Alley. I'm like, you've just been here the whole time. Like, sure, maybe you didn't want to see the rest of the con, or maybe you take a day and have a friend take over for you if you're lucky. But a lot of the time I'll just see them at their booth like through the entire thing. Every time I walk by to get food, or I'm up there walking around near it, I'm like, oh, should I be like, do you want something? Can I get you anything? Like, You need a drink? Do you need water? Like, you've been here. Did you supply? But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It's one of those things where I don't know these people enough to actually do that.
For sure.
I'm an awkward panda.
A year from now, I would be equipped because I've started working on portfolio pieces finally, which is something that I've never done before. I've never, I create commission pieces for people, and then people never see that stuff because it's not stuff that it's like personal stuff. So I am, for the first time ever, going to start building a portfolio of prints and various art things that I'm looking to sell repeatedly. So I think that's going to lead up to me wanting to actually do a convention.
Well, that'd be cool.
At the earliest, a year from now.
Yeah. Well, I would love to see you at TwitchCon or something. They have a sweet artist alley.
Yeah, it's
pretty large. It's a pretty good one. I haven't really been to many others besides Silicon Valley Comic-Con. I've always wanted to go to PAX or something like that, but PAX is so crazy now. I always wanted to go to San Diego Comic-Con, but that's just impossible.
That's a thing I won't do again.
Yeah. I feel
unless I'm boosted for something, but no.
Yeah, or if I'm being paid to go there for a panel or something one day when we have Otaku flavored live and you guys are all there paying to get into a panel. Yeah.
That was an experience to go for sure.
Yeah. I definitely want to go.
I didn't care about it that much.
Yeah, I still want to just know I've been to the convention center for that because that's where TwitchCon was, but TwitchCon used a small portion of it in comparison to the whole thing. And just seeing how large that convention center is, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure I would die. I'm pretty sure trying to see everything is impossible. And like, yeah, I would have to.
There's so much that I didn't even want to see.
Well, that's the big thing.
Is problem with it too.
I would have to know I want to see something. Basically, like I'm going there for
so
a
much
reason.
TV crap though. That's like, do you really care about what you're gonna see in like 3 months, anyways?
Yeah,
like,
no, it's true.
I don't want to reveal for something or like first look movie reveals. And it's like I could just watch that on my computer.
Check out Winter Soldier before anyone else can. You're like, okay, well, I mean, I'll just watch it when it comes out. Like, I don't want to wait in this line with all of these people to go see 15 minutes of a clip of something and then be like, yeah, dude, I got to see that.
Before you did,
later, I can't tell you about it because of spoilers, and I could spoil it for you. And it's like, no, calm down, it's okay. Like,
no, it's. I detest so many panels that I went to. But there were some panels that I went to that were really great, like the personal panels where it's just a person talking about their stuff that they do. Loved those ones. That was really, really great. All the industry panels, those are what are worth to go. But that's the thing, is like, that's the small rooms. There's so many people who don't go to those, and it's just like,
that's like for like TwitchCon, they always have like panels on different random things, and I always say I'm gonna go to these, and I never get around to doing it because I just wander the con floor for so long. But it is such a good resource for hitting those up and being able to learn stuff in a small room with like not as many people, because a lot of people don't go to them and stuff like that.
Which is so crazy to me. Like, there's such like cool small experiences to that were to be had there that were just 30 people or less sometimes in a room, and you were like this really famous important person or somebody talking about something, and you're like, this is why didn't people go to this? Is because everybody wanted to see the trailer for the TV show that comes out in 2 weeks, and it's like, why?
That's just how it works.
Do you really care about it?
Or
you sat in Hall H for 8 hours to get in to see Star Wars preview. There's also those people.
I definitely I want to do San Diego at some point, as just going there basically. I would love to go also if we ever are on a panel or something like that. Don't know if that will ever happen, but PAX is another one. I know that we have a bunch of D&D cons and stuff that we're thinking of going to this year, or like tabletop relating conventions. That hopefully, if COVID later on during the year, we can go to those. But I do kind of miss meeting up with people. That's the biggest thing. Seeing like a streamer friend that you've only ever met basically over like just webcam. Like if I had never met you, Jay, and now I'm meeting you for the first time because we went to TwitchCon together, like it's fun. It's definitely cool meeting those people.
Super awesome for sure.
Yeah, because it's a good way to have a place for everyone to meet up. Like there's gonna be people to do, there's gonna be stuff to do and people to hang out with, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully maybe we'll have a meetup or something for Otaku flavored or for something. If anyone ever wants to fly out to see us, it'll probably be ending up meeting our streamer friends and stuff like that. So if any of you guys stream and want to meet up, but yeah.
Also, tournament gaming. I wanna go back to that at some point as well.
I definitely miss that. Oh man, I loved watching. I love watching live esports.
Oh, esports too, but I want to play card games again. The moment that I get a chance to go play a large like Digimon tournament, I'm going for it. Oh yeah, I want to do that really, really bad,
dude. Become the champion. I want to see this kid go into nationals. Let's go.
Or yeah, just go play another card game. Just I want to go do that. That's something that is still forever one of my passions that I just had to abandon for a year, which is
it's gonna be nice when we can all meet up and basically play games together. So
yeah.
Hopefully that happens this year, and hopefully we can start seeing you guys again in person and all of that. And maybe at some point this podcast will go to being how it should be, which is in person, with me and Jay actually able to yell at each other in person by having him sitting here or me sitting.
Oh, that's basically the podcast reboot when that happens, and it's going to be way different than what this is. This is Jay's therapeutic hour where he talks to somebody for an hour one week. God, it's so good. We talk about it.
It's so good. I fucking love that. This is my therapy. All right, you guys. Like, I need this.
This is the closest I've gotten to getting out of the house, aka being broadcast online.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I think this is a good place to end it, you guys. Jay's therapy session is over, and if you guys think of any anime you would like us to start watching and would like us to talk about episodically, like we did with Wonder Egg, let us know in the comments down below. We'll also be on the search, so we'll check that out. Also, join the Discord, you guys. Let's get some people in there. Come on. I believe in you. There's a link in the description. Let's get some people going so we can actually start watching stuff and hanging out and making movie nights and stuff. Because right now it's me and Jay. I think Tiff's in there, and I think Iron Man came in.
You guys love chatting in our normal Discord. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Community time. Everybody come together.
Just for the love of God. No, I'm just kidding. We put effort into this thing. Help us.
Wait, we did?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I think you did. I'm pretty sure you did a lot of the work for that.
Well, that's just the thing. Is like I don't remember putting in any effort, so I thought you did.
All right, well, take care, you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Later, guys.